Hello, everybody. Apologies for the delay. This is Storyteller's World Building, my bi weekly session about creative writing and all that stuff. I just returned from vacation, so things are quite a bit in the air. I forgot a few things here. Just a moment. There we go. That should make for a better experience for you guys. How's everybody doing? Next week is going to be big. I have Meteor.js Impact. So next week is going to be all technical. So this week, let's get started with some word building. I have a old, you could say, homework from, let's use, I think. I have homework from a course that I'm doing for creative writing. So let's see, let's just go for here for now. And that is to create a biography for one of my characters. And I've decided that I'm going to do that for this guy. And I kind of started on it, but then world events kind of took me elsewhere. So this time around, it's I'll be finishing biography for this guy. What I did, what kind of took me elsewhere is I started working on where kind of here in the other section, or was it in the other section? Not sure it out of my memory. Let's see, where did I put it? Yes, so, and I mostly use AI, so I've kind of put in the AI flag. And I put in that it was the GPT-4 model, which reminds me I need to kind of add in the new models as well as figure out how to improve this. So I've added here about the Flagstaff and of course the military ranks, so people can, and myself as well, orient about things. I've added about the formations. And I've also within that, and this was, I think, interesting suggestions from the AI under Flagstaff. There is this new, say, navigation or pathfinders, which is, I've seen a bug here. Let me just quickly fix that. So I've added here about I've added there about pathfinders, or which is, I would say, let me make this a bit, just a tiny bit bigger, so you have better see. So pathfinders, which is kind of a new thing, which are the people who kind of hyperspace jump or warp ahead and kind of find the find a safe path for larger and more expensive vessels. So that's, I think, is pretty nice, and you can really tie that historically. So that's something that I think I will have a play with as well. So that will be a lot of fun. So let's get this sorted out here. Just on the other screen. Apologies. Just need to put something in here to track my time better. Completely failed the last week altogether, so I need to kind of get back into that. And let's get going. And I think I'll have to go to, let's jump to Super Grok. I did a I have a under bookmark. I think there was like I did one chat. Let's try, maybe if it'll be in better. It'll be this one. Yes. Thing I've did is like with the Pathfinders. Oh no, it's not this one. Or maybe I'll have it. Okay, I have it on T3 chat. So I did like a article about it, which I had a lot of fun because of course it has no freaking clue about what is actually going on, but it created like a very interesting ideas, a few of them that I will be exploring. So today the idea is to write within full detail for Stefan, his background. Stefan first have years with the 8th Fleet, right? That's the name of the novel that I have writing. I'll have a sub-series for writing, especially with addition of Pathfinder. That changes the dynamics a lot. So what I want, early life, then like I say, the military career, personal life. And you can see here I have here kind of hidden 2 fields, for one for exile and one for legacy. Exile, because that's for the exile novel, so I'll be getting into that, so you'll see some spoilers. And legacy, that's kind of what he left behind, so that will be important. And I also have to go and let's see. So we have here the children. Oh, we don't have the partners part here. So that will be something to add here right away. And just above children, and we have to change also the home world. That's also completely change. And let's actually get rid of these. Maybe I'll listen to music in a moment. And so, and he has a relationship with no, what was her name? I'm blinking. There we go. Answer. And this is very peculiar to okay. So, and this will be because since he is also Shinjinrui, which is the new name for Terrence that I had in the past, I need to change it from homeworld to birthplace. If I can type today. I don't know, for some reason I got some allergy or something going on. So we'll just quickly save this to make sure everything is there. Perfect. And let's get into this. And this, Stephen is an important side character in the story, and he dies, and it's really kind of his adopted daughter that then kind of carries on his legacy, and that's kind of what, with that kind of, lost in the line of duty and all of that stuff. That's kind of what I want to explore. So, and I think maybe I want to go as far as kind of maybe try to generate some sort of a image for him. Might be fun. And kind of what I want to finish is that I can, click this work in progress off. So let's see. I think I'm kind of happy right now with the summary. That might be something I'll change in the future. And maybe I should probably do here the change in race, so that makes sense. So Stephen was born as Shinri in 240 SUT. Oh, I need to also add a day, not just a year. Let's see, early or later on? That's the question. 344. That sounds like a nice date. On board of Friedenstern, part of the Schwarzwald fleet. He was the third child, and he spent his youth, third child of 7, and he spent his youth in the fleet as it migrated around the Central Territories. During his youth, he was taught all cities of Israel and management of spaceship. Eventually, he became a helping hand in the engineering section, working most complex ship systems. So, like many engineers from the central regions, he went to study on Earth in Northern National Defense University in the engineering branch. And let's see, study on Earth. Where he had a full scholarship, or just on scholarship in the engineering branch. He went for a Senate officer course after earning commendation in his first year for high technical skills allowed to focus beyond technical aspects, but prolonged his studies by additional 2 years. So we need kind of the start of his studies. So 240 and 254 SUT. Here it's important to note that standard SUT, or standard universal time, 1 year is much, much longer. It's almost 2 years of ours. So 14 years after being born, that's much, much older. I'll have to check the conversion. We can kind of check that later. And of course, it's still changeable. So that's the benefit. Okay, I've got some allergy, damn it. Let's see. At the end, so normally, let's say 6 years is the normal study, or actually 4, so that would be 6. So in 260. At the end, though, he graduated. And this is what I wanted. And let me see if I can actually duplicate the tab. Yes, I can. Because what I want to look at are the ranks. The ranks that I did already. So other and UADF military ranks. So we have the enlisted. He as a commissioned officer. During his university, he was a trainee. He would start as an ensign, but because uh, of his commendation and everything, he will be starting as junior lieutenant. And I need to. Or should he? That's a question. At the same time, even though he's important, I don't want to put him above. And I think also ensign makes much more sense. He graduated in 260 SUT and entered service. So I think we can, with the defense fleet, or with the UADF. F. Okay. So important part here, I think. I think this is. So we kind of probably be all put into the military, so I have to kind of expand the early life. So let's see. So what we need to provide here now is the military service. That will be kind of interconnected with his personal life, and then I'll go into, say, the exile. So the story is he eventually makes it to the rank of commander. When we meet him, he is a, let's see, he will be a lieutenant commander, or maybe not. Yes, he will be a lieutenant commander because he will be the head of the engineering section on a flag battleship. So that's that 2, 4, 6, 7 ranks before you get to the flag officers. I think I might need to expand this. Actually, I think this is fine. Usually, yeah, the lower ranks, kind of, junior lieutenant and so on are. So that's what we kind of need to. That's kind of what we need to, kind of get these. How he got promoted and all the other stuff. So you're kind of ensign, especially on your, or ensigns are kind of a cheap version of a variant officer, which is another kind of way that you can potentially go to battles like specialties. So most officers will still remain ensigns until they get into the junior lieutenant. That's when they start commanding people. Up till then, they're kind of still learning the ropes, trying things out. So his first post was on let's see. And this is kind of where the formations come in, because we have kind of, differ in different ship sizes. Let's see, do I have... Oh, well, there we go. This is actually something that I can describes. So corvettes are the smallest ones. Then you make it to frigates. And then you go to destroyers, cruisers, battleships, carriers, and spaceships, and then special classes of ships. So his first, and this is kind of a, could say, potentially very random where you end up after after graduation. Given his childhood experiences and good grades, he was assigned to the Fourth Fleet. That's like another thing, you really won't see Shinjin Rei like on the First Fleet, which defends Earth itself or anything like that. There's just, strong discrimination on that, even though, at least not in these lower ranks, because even though they are most of the fleet, especially at this time, because they just love space so much, they are still kind of kept away from the most, let's say, critical fleets and areas. Signed to the Fourth Fleet, and then we'll put him on a cruiser, which is, let's say, like second, third, or second largest class of a ship that you can get on. Signed to the fleet, to cruiser, and this is where we are. I'm going to go aside and go to 43 chats and generate some Chinese names for spaceships. So in the lower numbers of the fleets you get, the more Chinese and Japanese names you will get. Once you get into the more high numbers, because in the more Western and other names you get, because that's kind of where they put ships like that. Names in this universe for spaceships of different classes. Some ideas for cruiser-sized ship. And another thing how I can get around this is to figure out, say, figure out some sort of a naming pattern, like serial numbers, which I'll have to do eventually, but I don't want to kind of spend the time on this right now. So I just want to kind of go to the name. Chinese characters. There we go. So that's generating fleet to cruiser. Da, da, da. Uh, After the initial tour, Stephen started focusing on see, this is like another thing. If we go to the ranks, what you will notice there are like qualifications, and this is what he will be focusing on. Qualifications. So let's see. I think what we really need to figure out what will be the naming pattern for spaceships in the United Earth Defense Forces. Naming pattern is as follows. So battleships, famous generals of the past, or major cities slash stations, carriers, figure out one later. So cruisers. So what should be the cruisers? Then we have destroyers, frigates, and we did have in the other screen we did have what was the name of it? I'm missing. Corvette. Actually, let's see. Corvettes don't really have name; they have only designations, and it's kind of the crews that give them the names, which usually will be after um, some girls, some birds, or just anything that comes to mind. There is no no particular rhyme or reason, just what the crews want. Similar like when during World War II, the crews were naming their own bombers and you know and fighter planes. So we have the battleships, we have the carriers, which uh, just remembered the Jan Katoch, one of his novel. It was the heavy big carriers were named after mountains, and the small carriers were named after valleys, which was pretty funny for some names. Um, I remember. Let's see. So we need to have. And I think when we kind of have that for the UIDF, the name pattern that's kind of followed uh, through this whole confederacy. So for carriers, it suggests legendary events, historic triumphs, or concepts tied to aspiration, protection, sometimes important planets or regions. I think that mm, by the Japanese and Chinese. So, and I think I want to kind of follow more of because right now it gave me what I would call um, what would be kind of like the more Western conventions. I just want to quickly jump. So let's see. For battleship, major mountains, national symbols, or names of heroic figures or famous generals. Let's keep that. Carriers are provinces, old states or regions, or auspicious concepts. Uh, yeah, so that's where you have Kaga, Akagi, and similar. I think that can work. Cruises are after large rivers, celestial phenomena, or famous expeditions. That's really interesting. Destroyers for would be for weather phenomena, winds, or smaller, fast-running rivers and mythological animals. Mythological animals, I would keep, for something that can punch a lot. So frigates after plants, flowers, more animal and guardians, or minor islands. Okay, that goes. Let's have that. Let's have that generate some new names. So, and this you can kind of see how many other aspects of the world you create just by creating a character. So let's see. I don't want really. Okay, let's do this one, which is the on cruiser Siwa, which is the Korean and Chinese border river. I'm just blanking. What's the Korean or English name of that at the moment? But I think that's really good name for, and that kind of really gets you going. So, and then we'll have it that during his 2 years, he achieved the following qualifications. Um, he was awarded the. Now we have to have the qualifications that he would be focusing. Awarded the engineering. Let's see, engineering, and then we have here beacon interdict engineering. Damage control master, that will come later. So Oh, radiation safety. That's important. Safety qualification. That's yeah, that's very important to have that qualification, especially given that he is constantly around reactors and all the other things. So that's something that you want to avoid. And let me actually, I just had to go out, but let me come back. Don't be shy, guys. Say hi in the chat. Let me hear if you have like any ideas, questions, or whatever comes to mind. We have only have like 45 more minutes, probably not even that, before I have to go for another meeting. So hopefully uh, we can finish this out. And let me actually check my dates with the story, so to know if I need to move it or not. 274 is the with the 8th fleet, so I need him no later than 270 to be on our spaceship. So actually no, it will be 275. My mistake. Yes, 275. But still, 270, he will make it in 270 SUT. He was promoted, transferred to fellowship. Eisenhower. So flagship 8th fleet. So that's kind of what we have there when it comes to career. So that his first 2 years here is on that cruiser, on the 4th fleet, and then he gets transferred. So into 62 SUT, he was he was promoted to, so it took him 2 years to get promotion to, we said, whoop, and this is, there we go, from ensign to junior lieutenant. Junior lieutenant, and transferred to, let's add it, let's stay in the 5th fleet, sorry, in the 4th fleet, and let's go for, let's see some nice name. Mm-hmm. And I'm asking the AI, right, that I should go for names that should be, after you had like to name, you had to name over 500 cruisers. So I'm looking, that how it would name after 500 cruisers. That's so. So this should be like something like really that you would have to kind of look a bit more in. And it's I'm not. Uh, uh, Now let's go with Suryo. So he's more on a Japanese. And let's have this as an aging cruiser Suryo, where he. So, and on Suryo, or Suryu, aka Water Dragon. He'll get a full promotion to a lieutenant. And he'll get his rating. Let's see, where do we want to have him? So he already has engineering, he already has radiation safety, and he will get here his, let's just say, EVA qualification. I think, and this I have to kind of move this from just from that's not good. That's a good idea, because we do not want. There are a few things here. So EVA. That I want kind of to be for everybody. Because this is very advanced, so this is something that officer will be supervising, and so working on life support. That's kind of what you put to men. Communications again, that you will put to enlisted guys. That's fine. Cyber operations and electronic warfare. Those two are for everybody. Both. Then sensors, surveys. Again, that's for everybody. Just because of we are in space. It's much more advanced than we have today. Ordnance is weapons. Gonna stick with that. Reactor, drive, astrogation. Again, that kind of goes for everybody as well. Yeah. And if I'm recording, I think maybe they could even get. I need to check what was the. Wait, what? Just. Oops, my mistake. Okay. Yeah, just given how what Stefan already has, I'll have to probably these rating and space qualification. I have to do a bit more work on, but the main thing what he gets here is damage control and during his 5 years tour he got qualified, and I said that would be for as no, so he's staying strictly in engineering, so that will be uh, for reactor and as for EVA, not as a master here though, and for EVA. So that means for EVA is to go outside into space itself. So at the end of 267 SUT, Suyuru got decommissioned, and Stephen got half a year of vacation, which he spent visiting his home fleet. So now we are kind of getting, he gets into the so he got promoted into 62, I think. Let's see. Siri got decommissioned, and Stephen got promoted to lieutenant. So now he's a full lieutenant. I need to get him how many more ranks up when we are on a full lieutenant? Okay, just one more. So that's good. So we now have this into 68 SUT. Stephen was assigned to the 8th Fleet to battleship. And now we go for another name. I need ideas for battleship names. These can include Russian names as well now. So this will be so I want him kind of to be, unless I catch some nice name, I want to be some Russian name, just kind of to give the composition of, kind of show off the composition of, you could say, of the fleet and everything. Okay. Everest, but in Russian, and not really. It focuses on names, so cities, capitals. kind of want more of heroes. Let's focus on heroes slash generals of the past. That is more of the theme of the 8th UADF fleet. Heroes, generals. Yeah, I think let's make that a thing. So the flagship of the 8th fleet is the battleship Eisenhower. I want to find some nice, Japanese, Chinese, or Russian name for the battleship that he was uh, kind of surveying under. And of course, we go to Japanese. First, we got Yamamoto. No surprise there. Chinese, we have Sun Tzu. But, Sun Tzu and like these are really super popular names would be kind of in the fleets with higher numbers. It's kind of, the lower you get, the less of an attention kind of those fleets get from the headquarters. And why is my phone going off? Oh, because people are getting off work and they're writing me. Okay, so and I don't want to turn off because I will need it in a few moments. Let's see here what we've got here. Nothing special. Oh, I don't want to put in Bell of Borodimo as a name of a battleship. I think the Russians would take that. That's might be. I think they've lost Borodimo, but don't quote me on that. Might be something. Ushakov. Marshal Mikhail Kutuzov. Let us do a quick check on this guy. Why is it in Czech? Of course, because I'm trying a new browser, and that's why it looks like. So Prince Mikhail Ilarovich. Okay, Kutuzov Smolensky. My God, that's a long name. He's as Field Marshal of the Russian Empire, served military officer under the Romanov monarchs, second powerful. Okay, so he had 3 monarch, was shot in the head twice while fighting the Turks. Okay, and he managed to survive that. That's pretty cool. Defeated Napoleon as a commander in chief using attrition warfare in 1812. He's too good. Okay, I think I found the other option, which on battleship Rurik, which is just legendary, so that's fine. It's like legends. That's of the 8th, and I have 2 more years for him to get promoted. Maybe I'll shorten this up. by a few years. So I have this part, Shipuric. So during the tours with Rick, Stephen expanded his qualifications too. And let's see what I will actually need for the story. Something damage control master. Damage control master. I don't want him necessarily to succeed every time, even though he is pretty good. He tried for promotion to lieutenant commander in 268 SUT, but did not make the cut. He tried again in he tried again. Let me quickly check here. So again, next year, and was promoted. He led the engineering section of Rurik for the remainder of the year until he was remainder of the year. Great. So it was transferred to the Shalakshi of the 8th Fleet. He was put in charge of the engineering section. I think he'll probably expand more on what he was kind of doing, that not just bland, this is what he served. But please let me know in the comments if you want me kind of to explain more his career, but I think it's not really that necessary. During the tour, during exploration mission. Okay. Oh no, sorry. Okay, so let's change this. Because I want to kind of have him 3 years there. Then he gets over commander into 70, but I'm going to cut it again in 272 city and was promoted. Section he was initially placed as second in command for the engineering section until 273 section until the promotion of his predecessor later that year when he became the commander of the engineering section. Let me change the dates here. Promotion to the commander to 6/9. So this actually needs to go kind of here, but did not make the cut dot. So he tried again for promotion in 2009 and was successful this time around. Was promoted. So he was in there in 275 SUT. The 8th fleet was started, or actually let's kind of go 1 year earlier, start undergoing modernization and the commissioning of the oldest ships. Initially, Stephen was sent all over the fleet to assist in the process, but beginning 275 SUT, part of the fleet was organized for a exploratory mission, including Eisenhower so that was kind of how they were. Okay. Let me just quickly check if I have the dates. Okay. And now we can actually look, because it was not a full fleet, because full fleet does hundreds, over like 100 of battleship, not battleship, but battle like warships. So I want to go into formation to use the proper term, and let's see, fleet organization. So it's like and I need to kind of fix this, because you have task unit, task group. So task unit, that's usually 4 to 8 ships, and that's kind of centered around the battleship or carrier and the fleet that are kind of in support. So few cruisers, destroyers, and so on. Task group. I think that's kind of what they're missing here, is like squadrons. So it was actually the task force. So the fleet, but actually more at the size of a task force, was deployed to scout nebulae and other phenomena near the area. An exchange officer from the Grimnar Empire joined this mission. Exchange officer. That's our main hero. Mission, and Stephen shared cabin with him. So during the mission, the fleet was ambushed, and the Eisenhower was one of the first targets struck. So let's see. He survived that because he was pretty much in the front galley, chatting with one of the scientists on the mission. Stephen survived the destruction as in the moment of the attack. He was in the front galley chatting with a scientist. The surprise attack was so fast that the ship did not enter into any combat stance and was destroyed in under 3 minutes. Sorry, standard minutes. I'm just not kind of writing that down. So that was like, super fast. Actually, maybe even faster. Stephen. So let's see. Stephen evacuated the galley into a nearby escape shuttle, which saved his life and life of 8 others. He was picked up by approaching by an allied vessel and made it on board. And I do have a name for this ship, but I will have to revisit it, rethink it. It's kind of not to a Japanese science fiction writer and his novels. So I'll have to rethink that because copyrights and all the other stuff. But at the same time, I don't want to necessarily play with, okay, this is written, so cannot use it, because the sci-fi of today is going to inspire the future. So I kind of really want to kind of even give, can I say, a nod to that. So maybe I know what I will be potentially reading later today for books to kind of catch up on that. I made it on board. One of the two. It will be, it's not important. Important here. because the battleship he makes it on is like one of the only two modern battleships that the task force has with them in this battle. Everything else is old stuff that pretty much either was scheduled for modernization upon return, or was to be kind of put into either scrapped or just retired. So not not the best when it comes to hardware what you have there, but yeah. Following the ensuing bells and casualties, Stephen moved across multiple ships and eventually advised Edwin on technical possibilities and state of the fleet. Um, he was very unhappy and protested against the gag order on the entire situation, or the entire event. This led kind of missing here how they kind of ended up after their career was heavily damaged. He came up with the idea to make the old fusion reactor go critical and use the ensuing explosion explosion for diversion. He, after some modifications to the plan, he was the he left the damaged carrier on the last transport and survived the return to the known space. He was very unhappy also against the gag order on the mission, which held him back for promotion until I think he might. I mean, have him command some ship during that time, but I'm not entirely certain. So, but right now, not, because he was like, he really is not too much into command, and the kind of lieutenant commander is the last rank he originally wanted to have, because then it just just commanding ships, and that's not his thing. What now, people? Okay. So he let me take a look on when exiles start, so that I know 287. And this happened in 275. So until 280 SUT. After the disastrous mission, he spent the next year on leave and evaluation. In 277 SUT evaluation and expanding. Let's just and refresher training for newer classes of ships. So kind of, like pilots have to upgrade their type rating and everything. That's kind of what he was going through that year. He was assigned again to the 8th Fleet and commanded engineering sections on 3 battleships until 280 SUT, when upon his promotion he assisted. In that case, I want to actually make it 279. Assisted promotion. He became XO, which is kind of like executive command of officer. Officer on board of the battleship. And now I quickly go back here and find some. Well, I don't want him to be on Kursk. That's a bad. I can probably put him on Verdun. Yes, that's a good one. Verdun. And in battleship Verdun. So he was there for 2 tours. Into 80 SUT. He was transferred and put into command of Phoenix shipyards. And I need to actually kind of put into this a few more. Let's put it here. Sorry, that's actually over there. I need to actually, this will be part of his personal life. I need to figure out the exact dates here. Maybe I will move it by a year or so. Yes. Let's put actually 281. After recovering, let's actually put that in here. I want to have this. And why I said, kind of why he was held back, that's just, because after battles like this, you want to put people who had the battle experiences and have the qualification more higher up so they can kind of share things. Uh, 40 tours. Into 80 SUT, he took a longer leave to tour our empire and visit Trafe, but on his way back, he suffered a personal tragedy and was on leave and evaluation for the rest of the year and into 281 SUT in SUT transferred protocol and the Phoenix shipyards. Served as the and now this is a thing, because if you are like kind of in charge, you are always like the captain. So he was at that point a commander. That's why he was the XO. But this is a freaking old, spaceship or shipyards. But he remained a commander. He didn't go any further, which is what's just not serves as the. Actually, let's see. There's just not enough time on in this case to be promoted to a full captain. That would be probably something that he would be promoted into going into retirement, just given his nature. But yeah, that was kind of like, commander is like his top of military career. He served as the commanding officer of Phoenix shipyards until the station was attacked and destroyed in 287. 287 SUT. Let's copy this just in case. But boom, here we have Esmeralda Carrier. And I'm late for my meeting, so that's where I will end this here. And then we'll next time, or probably actually tonight, I'll finish his personal life and everything else. So thank you for joining me. I'll kind of start next time about kind of showing you where this is, plus preview on the logged ones. And let's kind of get this. Let's put me right over here. Just a reminder, if you like what I'm doing, you can sponsor me on GitHub. But more importantly, next week we're back to open source, and we'll be primarily talking about impact, because the schedule will be finished in the next few days. And there is next week, of course, is the conference. So stay tuned for a lot more interesting things coming in that matter. I'm super excited about that. I still have to finish all my talks, but it's going to be amazing. So I'm hoping that you will be joining me. And after that, we'll be back to creative writing and other fun stuff. So that will be in 2 weeks. And don't forget, this Thursday is 100th episode of Meteor.js dispatches. So we'll have some fun and some interesting things. So see you hopefully on Thursday or next week, or if you just here for the creative writing stuff or world building, I'll see you in 2 weeks.